Good morning.
Continue on US 224 East for 1 mile.
I wish I would turn this on a little bit earlier. There was a tree that just let loose of thousands of leaves back around the corner. They all jumped to their death at the same time. Doing a little fall ride, but we're going to do interstates. We're going to burn some energy today, turn on the cruise. I'll do leaf spy sometime. See how much power that cruise control's using. Wow. Fix your roads, Canfield. What in the world? A little late getting going, but it was either take a shower after the wife was done or take a shower before, so it was after. I don't do good getting up in the morning. So the original plan was to do a bike trail around Oil City. They got a free charger there. Do a bike ride around Presque. They got 6 free chargers in the park, all level 2. Wow, inching forward here. Just stop already and then wait for the light. Now, one of those charges is down at Beach 8. It says there's like yellow tape. So we used that one back in May. And hopefully head to Geneva on the lake and just do the little short trail there right around the campground. It's supposed to be 70 today. Right now it's showing 51 on the dash. 49 on Google. We updated the, I think it's Garmin GPS with a big memory card, since it keeps wanting newer, larger ones. It obviously didn't even have Southern Ohio in there in our last trip. Hopefully we gave it enough to work with. That's when the Waze is usually the first to fail, then Google. But the last trip, Google was the only thing we could rely on. All right, light. Wow. And instead of Route 11 and 90, we're going to try 11, 80, and 79. Check the PennDOT stuff, and hopefully what they're showing is just a little construction areas, not the huge construction areas that was going on in early May. That's when we noticed that the cruise control was burning more energy than normal. Most of what we did was 55 miles an hour with the cruise control on. And shoot, we do real good with that normally. And we didn't. So the whole trip we did to Carolina, we only did cruise on once or twice.
In 1,000 feet, use the right lane to take the Ohio 11 North ramp to Youngstown.
Normally we just do free charging on level 2s.
Use the right lane to take the Ohio 11 North ramp.
Jeez.
continue for half a mile.
And it's probably slow level too, so so figured out, let's try Electrify America, put us on the map there.
In a quarter mile, merge onto Ohio 11 North.
It's only going to be the third Electrify America I've tried, and the first one was a fail. The second one I had to use a credit card and then call for the membership refund or whatever when I got home. And then hopefully this one today. And PlugShare says it's been free for a little while. So I don't know. Volkswagen Electrify America is having all kinds of problems and stuff. So we planned on doing this yesterday. Nothing worked out or whatever for that. So we tried some kayaking. And I liked the cloudiness today. I enjoy that more for this than it was too much sunshine yesterday. And then tomorrow's supposed to rain, so it's going to knock a lot of leaves down. I did charge my camera, landscape camera. I'm going to look into ordering a second battery for that because it's coming up on 7 years old. And the original battery worked so good I never needed a second one, but it's getting to the point where a second one would save my rear end. And I think it's Montrose or something has a Nissan dealer north of I-80 between Ohio Route 11 and Pennsylvania I-79. It's on the Pennsylvania side. And they've got a free Chatamo charge there if we need it. So far what I've done with that, about a better route planner, it's never cooperated. It failed to see when our trip was to a place that had a line of chargers sitting out front, 5 or 6 of them. It would not recommend charging there, and you're like, hello, I can go there easily on one charge, look around, want to see what I want to do, and go home. So I don't know if it would kick in if I paid the money for a better route planner. So we're just do things the old-fashioned way. Go on PlugShare, and I'm copying the addresses of the places I want to go. That way I got them here, so I don't have phone signal and everything. It won't look stuff up. Or if I run out of data on my phone. And I print it out big enough so I can see when I drive it and enter in verbally on the Google map on the Android hookup from the phone on the car. And then if that fails, we can pull out the updated Garmin. So like I said on the previous trip 3 weeks ago, the Garmin came with at least US Canada maps, or at least US. And then after a couple updates, it wanted a memory card, a mini SD card. So whatever it asked for, we bought something a lot bigger so we wouldn't have to mess around again. Well, the last time it says it only could do a partial thing, and it didn't even cover Cambridge, Ohio wasn't even on the list, so that was a waste. So I think we put a 32 gig, 16 or 32 gig card in there. It's like, hopefully this takes care of things for a while. So GPS kind of, the young people all use their phones, but You gotta have the phone signal. So, and normally GPS measures the speed you already went. Your speedometer measures the speed you're going at right now. And you stupid ass. Yeah. Some little Fast and Furious car. This guy's slowing me down. And then, of course, radar, LiDAR, and all that stuff measures what you're doing exactly at the moment. And usually radar has a tuning fork, X-band or K-band, K-band. That puts out a frequency, and it's supposed to read it on the radar. I don't think mine came with a tuning fork. I've got K-band. And then also on the GPS speed, it's probably the most accurate if you're on level, straight terrain. Anything besides that, and it's got to account for all that direction of up and down, curves to the left, curves to the right. And then your speedometer, is also calibrated to the tires size. When you bought the car, it's the engineering. If you changed your wheel and tire size, you're going to be off. It's like a cute little fifth wheel trailer coming up here on the left. Scam. A little more trailer, a little less truck. It looks like it would go good with a smaller truck. Yeah, I guess I usually don't go this way. I was expecting a lane to end like I do when I go 680 all the time. When I go to the VA clinic. That's why I sped up with the truck on my left. This cool thing is this thing's got lots of zip to get up and go. It's a great car for zipping around town if you're one of those high-speed people. It really goes. It's just a quick little nimble thing. The steering is wonderful on this. For a size car it's got a wonderful ride to it. And of course it's quiet because it's electric. So I'm doing the speed limit, so that tells you about this other folks. So we did get a speeding ticket the end of July, but that was 1981. So I guess I do go this way when you can take Route 11 to the north and stuff. We're going to try 80.
In 2 miles, take exit 228 on the left for Ohio 11 north toward Airport, Warren.
No, we're not going to do that. Jeez. I'm sure if I planned that way, the damn thing would tell me to go 79. And it's like, what in the world? I don't get along with GPSs whatsoever. So this Route 80, when I was young, and even we took this road, our driver's training in high school. There was nobody on this road. It was a nice empty road, no toll. Be pretty scary now. I think we had 4 students in the car, and then the instructor in one of those, like a 1980 Chevy Malibu station wagons. So whoever got the middle seat in the back was on the hump. And I remember, I think it was my turn to drive, and the guy's asking me questions because I'm having trouble walking. It's in my legs fell asleep, sitting in the middle back there. So I was about 16 years old.
In half a mile, take exit 228 on the left for Ohio 11 North toward Airport, Warren.
So the guy had a brake pedal on his side, and I guess he'd reach over and grab the steering wheel every once in a while. But, after a couple of days, everybody did pretty good.
Take exit 228 on the left.
I think the guy dozed off one time when we were coming out here. So we all decided to keep it quiet and see how far we could go. We went pretty far before he came to. That was pretty awesome. And we would have kept going. But like I said, it was a road you'd just take. And there was no traffic. It was just, hey, let's go out and cruise I-80 because it's some beautiful country. You're away from all the steel steel industry that was there, away from all the Rust Belt stuff. So now there's like a corridor here between from the other end of I-79, the east side, and well into Ohio past Lake Milton, where there's just massive accidents all the time. As you can see, all the trucks and the speeds they let them go now. Well, I think it's long enough for part 1, I think. We'll see. Well, trees are kind of interesting here. We're losing a little bit because of the glare into the sun and stuff. So, we've traveled 24.8 miles. We left a 98% charge. It's showing 88 already. Now, you could pass a little more, dude. And right now our range is 226 at 88%. 226 is the advertised range when it's new, so. Like I said, I rechecked all the chargers this morning to make sure nothing went down overnight. I guess that's what happened the last trip to North Carolina. The Cambridge Chatham CCS #1 and there failed overnight, and they troubleshot it either online or sent somebody out. They said there was a part on order. So that was 3 weeks ago. And the one in Mentor's got the same thing. It's down. And then, like I said, we got the one to work in Withville, Virginia. But we had to use a credit card because there's no phone signal. Not everybody has the same phone. They got a phone signal in different places. And then, I fired up the app that morning, and the app won't communicate without the phone signal. So we had to pay full price. We just did a mini charge down to North Carolina to make sure it worked. And also, give us a little extra in case the range anxiety thing to make sure we had more than enough to get back, and then we stopped her on the way back because Bojangles is the neighbor of that Charger. So if I go to Geneva on the Lake, 2 miles north of me, the land flattens out greatly. It'd be great for windmills and stuff there in Ohio. And you hardly use any energy taking the 2-lane roads up to Lake Erie. As it's a slight downhill all the way to the lake. And I guess the lake used to be pretty much more expansive in ancient times. So there's 62. That's the first traffic light we go to on my street. That goes to Niagara Falls. And some of you might think you know of 62. Well, it goes all the way to El Paso, the other direction. So there's the Route 7 we were on 3 weeks ago on the southern end of Ohio. It hugs the border and then it goes along the Ohio River, at least to Kentucky. I'm not sure if it continues on to Cincinnati after you pass, after you exchange West Virginia for Kentucky on the border there. I thought they had fences to keep the deer off these roads. So won't be long, we'll be into Pennsylvania. And maybe someday people like cruise Route 66. I want to cruise Route 62. At least do it Niagara Falls. And see how much of the old road is still there as far as the gas stations, motels, and that stuff. It's sort of a Route 62 parallel. It winds from Niagara to El Paso instead of Chicago to LA. It doesn't look too bad today, so. See, one of the other reasons we traded the van in, too, it was November 2 years ago. I told the wife, hey, let's take the new, wow, bridge is good. Check that out. It looks like a pre-Eisenhower, but I don't know. Can you remove the entire bridge? So we had one of these new Chevy Express extended vans with all the seats and everything. I said, hey, let's take the van on a nice ride and go out, cruise as far as we can, grab lunch somewhere interesting, maybe stop, see something, come back. And we didn't get much farther than this if we got this far. And, well, I think we got into Pennsylvania, and the traffic stopped. And that's the same thing I ran into in May. It was still under construction. So we were like, oh, geez, this ruins everything. We ended up taking Route 18 Pennsylvania down to Beaver Falls, looking for a Thai restaurant, but it turned out to be closed on Sunday. We turned out eating 10 miles from home at a Mexican restaurant. It's like, and then some trips we planned with family didn't work out, like to go see the Mansfield prison, since our name kind of matches a famous inmate. But on a story that's purely coincidental. Fictitious. Ooh, maybe we can get some free Pennsylvania match. Oh wait, let's do a rest stop on I-79. This is the restrooms, I guess.
Welcome to Pennsylvania.
There we go. And increase the speed. So, yeah, it's only 32.3 miles from home, so we're only a little, maybe 20 or less on a 2-lane road from Pennsylvania. And a little bit more to West Virginia in our county. The other thing about Pennsylvania, Dad would take this sometimes to avoid the little quarter 50-cent tolls back 50 years ago. You take this, visit relatives in Earlyville, New York. Just save some pocket change. And the restrooms, you'd be with your brothers and sisters seeing who could hold their breath the longest. That's what the restrooms were on this road 50 years ago. And I don't think anybody held their breath the longest. I mean, it's enough. So what it did is it just caused you to take a huge inhale at the wrong moment in the middle of things. So it ended up being worse. So I'm sure, they're all improved now. So I got to grow up watching the interstates coming into being too, because so much was under construction. If there was a bridge across the river, you were down to like 45 or less miles an hour doing 2-lane traffic because they were building the other bridge. Some of the tunnels were just 2 opposing lanes while they were building the other, and now they're closing tunnels. So it was an interesting time, and parents weren't in a hurry. They traveled before the interstates. So Dad had to move from Pittsburgh, stationed in Coriopolis or something in Pittsburgh in the 50s. And he got orders to report to Anchorage, Alaska. So not only did he make the trip, he did it without interstates. It would be interesting to know how long that took. So it's kind of nice driving slower, stopping more often. That was the normal. That's what all those roadside attractions are about. Stop and visit the world on the way instead of rushing from point A to point B and then trying to recover. Because you can always fly if you're in a hurry and get a rental car. So you saw more scenery and there was a lot less stress at 55. And it'll feel a little naughty. You did 60. So we're still doing 65. That's good. And won't even turn on cruise control. We got some. Well, what's it say? It says it got 79 miles to get there, and that was the thing. It used a lot of battery, even at 55, because this was there was construction here. Stop and go for a while, and then I-79 was just 1 lane each side with 55, and I was using cruise, and I used a lot more energy with cruise than I ever did with air conditioning. We're just getting into cooler season, so we're seeing how much the heat's using. And the initial heat up the car, and then you set the temperature or whatever. And they say if you're going to order an electric car, try to get the heated steering wheel and seats, so you don't have to run the heater as much. So summer long, the first rule when I got the car was like, hey, we're not going to run anything we don't need to get as much miles per kilowatt hour as possible. And then once summer got here, the rule number 2 was, hey, in this car, But we are not going to perspire in the damn seats, so we're going to run air conditioning. So the average for the summer was 4.8 miles per kilowatt hour with the air conditioner on. And that included the daily noon or 10 afternoon on the climate timer for working at the local museum, so the car would be cool, and it would do that every day. And then some days, like on vacation, I set the timer up for 2 consecutive runs, so the car would be cool when I got back, not knowing exactly how much time I'd spend in Mount Airy touring the town. So the air conditioner is no big deal. And a lot of the cars, the bigger cars and stuff, they're not going to get anywhere near the 4 miles per kilowatt hour. And then in town on this, you're going to do over 5. You're going to have over 300 miles of range. And we'll see what the heating does to that. So still got to get a hold of the dealer about the tire rotation. The Weiss Murano needs that. I don't feel like doing it. I might run it to where we bought to Discount Tire and have them do it. Find something interesting to do there. Basically what I do for a tire rotation is I lift one side, rotate front and back, and then if it tells you, well, this rear goes on the front on the other side, then I just rotate either the front or the rear. So do the sides first and then rotate the front or rear rotation or whatever on its own. So what the heck are you doing in my lane? What in the world? So we rotated her tires on her Nissan last fall and changed the oil. And I rotated tires on my Chevy. I still got a Chevy Express van that's rusty crusty. So that my van won't need done for 2-3 years. Her Murano needs done because she took a new job and then she's doing an old job. Just a little bit. So she's driving more than she has in years. So the oil change that she wouldn't have had to have until November